Hello, good evening, and welcome to My Property Place live chat. The time now is 9 p.m. and it's time for My Property Place live chat, another round of discussion about property investment. So if you are joining me for the first time, welcome to my show. Now this show it's a property discussion platform. So what we do is we discuss about topics, any topics that is related to property investment, be it feng shui. Last week we were discussing about feng shui, interior design, all different aspects of prop tech, MM2H, Airbnb. I've brought lawyers in before, and in the near future, will be talking to couple of investment solution providers. I'm trying to secure their appointment. So yeah, I try my best to bring some of the industry specialists to be in my show to talk to you as well. So so this is quite an exciting moment for me to be able to provide all this information to you, and yeah, that's what I want to do. You see, I want to make this show a nice information platform, so that if you're a property investor, you can refer to my show here, and every different show is a different topic, so that probably we can all learn something all together. Now today's topic, if you see my title, my topic, we're talking about perception, right? Is perception very, very important in the aspects of doing sales? Okay, it's actually very how do I put it? It's two parts for you to understand that. It's just like an example of this glass of water. Now, for those of you who have seen this story, you know this is the story of whether this glass is half empty or half full. Okay. Now, a lot of people who are familiar with this story, or even scientists have research that says that those who think that this glass is half full are pretty optimistic people who believe, who hope that things will happen in a better way. And on the other hand, some people say that if you think that this glass is half empty, then you are very much an optimistic. I'm not saying that I say it. It's just science research, right? But whatever it is, now it's totally empty. Anyway, okay. So that's just a joke. Okay, so we're going to cover about perspective. How should people perceive a salesperson to be? So in that case, I would rather bring my specialist today. I've got some really special guests in the show today that I like to bring on, and for that, welcome to My Property Place live chat. And we are back. Welcome to My Property Place live chat. I've got two very gorgeous ladies with me today. I have Jade Lim, Strategic Image SI-Rapi's coach, and also Jade, with the Chinese word that I don't know how to read. You know, I'm a banana. I have to be honest, everyone out there, listeners out there, 我会讲华语，但是我不会看华语字。So 我们讲偏吃了哦。Okay, Jade 老师你好。
你
好
Timothy. Welcome to the show.
Fantastic.
How do you feel today? All ready to share your experience with us today?
Yeah.
Yes, awesome. Feeling fantastic, especially with a handsome gentleman on the screen.
Thank you very much. Your approval means a lot. Okay, perhaps maybe I can get Jade. Jade, you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Jade. So my Chinese name is Li Yun. That's the name given to me by my grandfather. That means beautiful jade. So there's a Chinese saying, 玉不琢不成器. That means we need to really polish the jade until it becomes a real beautiful jade. I feel that name is really synchronized with me, is really aligned with my character, right? And that is also what I do right now as a strategic image SI-Rapi coach, which I'll be able to share with you more what is SI-Rapi later. And my mission is to help to build the confidence of people, to help to unleash the potential of people through appearance, behavior, and communication skills.
Mhm. Amazing, amazing. I think this is something that is really important in the industry, in the sales industry, in fact, even in the management level industry as well. A lot of people rely on impressions and also perspective to make judgment, especially the first impression, right? Okay, so
Yes.
over to you, Jake 老师，你 maybe you can introduce yourself as well.
呀，谢谢 Timothy 的邀请哦，让我有这个机会跟你同台，还有这老师一起来做这个分享啊。我叫橘子，你可以叫我橘子。当然，我的工作在10年前就开始就做我热爱的工作，这是我热爱的工作啊，放下了手上之前的一份金饭碗。我是之前是一个保险代理，而且呢有做过4届的 MDRT，不过呢不开心，赚了钱但是不开心，
赚这么多钱不开心呢？
因为有些事情哦，就是你内心的那一股的热忱。它比赚更多钱还来得有意义。那我10年前我找到了我这个，就是现在在做的这个所爱啦，这个 passion 啦。OK，那我的现在的工作主要呢就是做个人形象。那我有这样的一个我们叫呼召啦。就是从我们说嘛，人生哦。就好像 jigsaw puzzle 有玩过吗？对吗？
对 jigsaw puzzle。
哎呀，然后你看啊，每一片哦，每一片如果少了一片的话，那一个很漂亮的画面就没有办法完成，对吗？
对。
那我们的人生当中呢，就是包括了，其实不只是一个外貌漂亮啊，我们要有事业，我们要有健康。我们要有提升 family 各方面都要有这些都是一小片一小片。那我的工作呢，就是从头到脚来帮助这些我们讲说普通人，不是 celebrity， 就是普通人去找回他们的自信，因为帮忙做听凑，然后再找回他们内心的那个价值。所以这个比赚更多的钱呢来得有意义。当然啦，我们说，要现实一点呢，还是要赚钱呐。因为我不是慈善家。
当然。So what I'll let me just recap back what Miss Jake has just mentioned to us. Basically, I think her passion. She's talking about a jigsaw puzzle, right? Life is like a jigsaw puzzle. A big picture with one piece of jigsaw puzzle missing, you will never be complete. And our life is just like that, If our life consists of our family, our work, our balanced lifestyle. So if any one of the it is missing, it's not balanced, right? So that's why Jake has committed her life to improve people's life by teaching them different segments and improving all different parts of us. Okay, so I think that is a lot more meaningful in her life than just doing work to earn money. But of course, this is something that she do with passion and can earn money. That is of course much better. 就是像我做了我在IT industry 已经做了10多年了。So 就是做来做去都是做一样的东西。我做了这样多年的电脑的这一行上，我就没有感觉到我自己是很喜欢做 sales 的人了。OK， 我很喜欢，我知道我是很喜欢解释东西给人家听。Hence, in the IT, 我可以教人家，I can teach people a lot of stuff. I can explain very, very well. But in actual fact, when I explain, that is actually sales. But I just don't realize. Okay, until the day I change, 我改行了去做real estate 这一行，我就觉得我现在做的东西也是很开心 ，because I'm able to solve people's problem. Of course, 有钱赚啦，那个是最重要，right? Okay, so. Yep, that's what 3 of us have in common, right? We are working for our passion, and we are also earning money out of it. Okay, improving people's life. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today is this perception part, and we would also like to bring in another guest, okay, with us today. Okay, I think I don't want to leave her in the back room too long. She's a very special guest that we like to bring in, and her name is Joyce. We'll be back in a short moment. Yeah. I feel so lucky today because I have so many ladies accompanying me tonight. Rather than I talk on myself, some of the shows I'm alone. I talk on my own. Today I've got three wonderful lady accompanying me on my show. I feel so lucky. Joyce, how are you?
I'm great, thank you, Timothy.
Yeah, thank you
Hi,
for
Jane.
joining the
Hi,
show.
Jane.
Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
Yeah, Joyce, so happy to have you. Joyce, maybe Jade, you want to introduce Joyce to us?
Let me introduce, because I know Joyce for like 3 years, right, Joyce?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I get to know her because she came and joined one of the networking organization, and she happened to be my mentee. Yeah, and I'm very inspired by her story. She is a mother, and she is always very dynamic. She has a daughter who is an artist, and later she will be able to tell you the story of her daughter, a very unique person. However, and Joyce is able to bring her potential out and turn her painting into many wonderful things. Like one of the piece that you see is behind, behind where she's sitting now. There is Janet Lee painting. And recently she came to our program called SI Rapi, and she wanted to bring out the identity of Janet Lee because she is the one that helped Janet Lee to promote the paintings. And that's how we connect at another level, which Joyce will be able to share with all of you soon.
Actually, I'm very excited to hear about Joy's story because as I mentioned to you all before that I'm very excited to inspire parents that will allow their children to express their talent, show their talent out, and not hide them. And we are not like really focusing 100% just purely academic. Everything must be 100 mark. That's all. Nothing else matters. So to me, I don't believe in that as a parent. So I feel that's why I'm very excited to have Joyce, and I can't wait to hear for her to share her story to you towards the later part of the show. So that is what today's show will entail. I think it's so exciting. We have many different factors. Now back to what we're talking about today. As I mentioned to you, the topic of the day we are talking about is perception. Right, earlier in the introduction part, I mentioned about why perception very important for a salesperson like me. I'm a salesperson. So a story like I like to tell is like, for example, property sales gallery. I mean, that's my 我的行，对不对 ？Okay, if a person 有一个顾客走进来这个 sales gallery 他看到两个 salesman 在这个 sales gallery, he finds two salesperson in this sales gallery. Okay, 一个呢就是穿他的头发是黄色的 ，OK， 黄色头发，然后又 crew cut 黄色头发，然后他穿衣服又没有 the shirts are not iron, OK, and then he's got tattoo all over the hands, OK， 拿几张纸这样跑上来，哎，老板怎么样？我今天怎么样可以帮到你 ？OK， 另外那个 another salesperson that comes to you, approach you, and the person is like very 靓仔 like me like that, wear very smart, calm, very nice hair and things like that, and then just come and approach you. Excuse me, sir, can I help you with any of this product? 你对哪里一个 salesperson 会比较有 confident? So I'm not saying that 那个黄色头发的 salesperson 他不了解他做的东西 doesn't mean it's not good, okay? But I will believe a lot of people will approach that one that look like me like that, to deal with, okay? So the question is, why? Maybe I can throw this question to Jade. Why do you think they behave like that? People behave like that.
Your question is, why do you think people behave like that?
Why will automatically people go to the more proper looking person rather than the more tattoo person?
That is human nature, because to me, if I walk into let's say a bookstore, there are so many books, instantly I'll be attracted by the one which have beautiful cover. Our mother says, "Don't judge a book by its cover." Unfortunately, our eyes, you can't lie. Our eyes really we go automatically attract to the one that's beautiful. So
自然
it is like psychology 很自然的。Yeah.
这样 Jake 老师，你觉得呢？你觉得我刚才讲的故事，你有什么表达？
有啊，
这是人的眼睛啊，我相信哦，造物者他给我们的就是这一双眼睛哦，就是来看漂亮的东西，所以很自然的不要去论断人家的外表，但是我们的眼睛就是这样坏咯，一定是会去咯。当然我好像刚才你所说的这个金头发的帅哥，未必就是不正当，但是我们说 generally 的一种的，我们叫做一个感官啊，它就是给人家的一个感觉就是不够踏实啊，所以我们回归到今天我们要谈的这个主题，就叫做洞察力，是不是这个销售的一切？让我们先来做一个定义，什么叫做洞察力？这个 perception 好吗？
洞察力啊，洞察力 is perception。
洞察力
new word 啊。
洞察力呀。
OK。
这洞察力啊，如果说要讲到很 technical， 什么以科学家的那些，我们不讲了，我们就讲比较 layman 一点的啦就是呢，你眼睛看得到，你听得到，你嗅得到，你动得到的这一些都是感官嘛，对吗？再讲就比较有一点点的的一个百姓能够明白的，就叫做这个言观色变。一个销售员，一个身为像 Timothy 这样资深的一个销售员，我相信呢，就是通过了洞察力，会言观色变，然后呢，才来做他的所谓的一个关系的切入，过后关系的一个建立之后呢，才来对这一个人，到底他是怎么样的人？比方说我们有读过那个叫什么 DISC 啊，这种个性的时候，我们才会知道说，要用怎么样的方式来把这一个产品给销售出去所以呢，我们今天要就是来谈谈这个洞察力 perception 呢怎么样能够引导我们 as 一个销售员的，以我们的现在专业啦，这个颜色我们讲到颜色OK， 今天还是回来就是讲颜色，怎么样去利用颜色，然后再来加上Timothy 你的一些的经验，怎么样说话？比方说你那天有讲吗？说话的速度，说话的速度也能够看出一个人的 character， 这个我还要向你多学。这样子的情况。
So the idea today， 我们今天讲的呢，就是using colors to influence perception. Am I right?
可以这样子说。
Okay. So yeah, of course, color plays a very important role. I have to also admit that I think I like to use a lot of black color, but I also realize that black color is not the best color to close sales. Am I right? 我也是不知道，我也是今天要跟你们学，因为我本身就很喜欢黑色。Of course 啦，黑色看了没有这样肥嘛。OK。
Scientifically 也是对。
Scientifically 也是对哈。So 就是啦，每次我因为我很时常穿黑色，所以人家看到忽然间我今天穿白色，人家会讲，Timothy 你好像肥了一点点哦。我讲我每天都是一样的，就是穿衣服不一样罢了。对，那个也 encourage 我一直穿黑色咯，穿多一点黑色咯。如果人家这样讲的话，
所以你的 intention 是要瘦啦，要看起来瘦啦，所以你穿黑色。
哎呀，人家福建话就是讲爱睡啦。OK， so I'm gonna 我要 share 一个 image that Jade 你 you share with me one， so you probably want to share about this picture as well. Okay, maybe Jade, you can share with us what is this about?
All right, this is a post that posted by my friend Jess Tiong. Jess Tiong is she is a movie producer of 当我们在一起. I believe a lot of you you know that movie, right? She just posted this 2 hours ago on Facebook. She says that
okay.
yeah, just 2 hours ago. She says, look at everybody, please pay attention to the light pink the bottle in front. She says because she likes the color that make her feel very sweet. That's why she buy that product. It's all about colors. That's why just now we were saying perception is about
Oh, it's
what
true.
we see.
Mm-hmm.
Visual, what we see, how we feel, our 5 senses. Exactly, her 5 senses is making that evoke that kind of feeling. Imagine if this product is a human. When we see someone is in that color, maybe that different color will also evoke certain feelings in us. That's why there's a reason why sometimes we see in certain colors because we like the feeling of the colors, the feeling that it evokes. That's how we are attracted to that person. We feel like we want to talk to the person. And sometimes you just don't like that feeling, It's not about the color, it's about the feeling that the color evokes. So you feel that this person, I feel I don't want to get close to this person because make me feel like this person is very serious, very stern, very strict, things like that. There's the reason why we say colors is the first thing that you see that person. The first thing you see is the color, right? Without the color says anything, it's actually already set the tone. We see it's a communication. In communication, it's 55% of non-verbal. That means what we wear is non-verbal, and also our body language is non-verbal. Besides that, our tone, the intonation is important. Our voice. Do you know that the color itself, despite that it doesn't say anything, however, it carries the voice. Just like when you see this bottle, the very sweet pink. Very likely if let's say we can relate to the voice, it will ring in our ears. Wow, a very sweet voice that this light pink it sends out. So it is actually carry the tone. There's a reason why we say color is a psychology. It can affect how people perceive us.
It's true. It's true. I think perception works so well in retail portion. I'm also a victim. 每次我去 supermarket 如果看到一些那些小junk foods and stuff like that, right? Those with very exciting colors, very interesting 我就会 perceive 到这个东西一定是很好吃的，还是很多人买的，我就会自动去拿那个。So I'm not sure if 这些颜色呢会 affect 到就是男人跟女人不同的想法，就是讲 this pink color bottle maybe it will attract ladies more to buy or even small kids to buy, but a man like for example 2支shampoo for example 我就会比较attracted to 深蓝色的还是黑色的 shampoo bottle where it's more men because 蓝色我就会 perceive 到 mint 嘛，那些冷的那些 shampoo OK， 如果白色还是 pink color shampoo 我就不大会去自动拿。OK， 那个 shampoo 的名字有可能是 Miss Princess 还是什么呢，我就不会去拿，因为不够 man 那个 shampoo， 是不是 perception 对不对
？Yes Timothy， 你 point 出了一个重点，所以我们讲对不同的人我们要穿不同的颜色。你对一个，比如说当你因为是一个很年轻，如果我们卖东西给一个很年轻的人比如可能是他刚刚出来社会，他喜欢的 color 是不一样的，因为他喜欢的那种感觉是不一样的。然后你要见一个 SMB 的老板，他喜欢的见的人的那种感觉也是不一样的。所以我们要抓住那个重点，知道他们的心理到底是怎样，然后我们去拿捏，用不同的那个颜色心理学去影响，但是他又不知道我们在影响他。
然后just now Jake also mentioned that whatever you learn in DISC, because I'm also very passionate about DISC. DISC, for those of you who are listening, if you're not familiar, excuse me, if you're not familiar, DISC is basically the classification to understand people's personality. All right. Very basically, on the very surface level, people are split into 4 different classification: DISC, dominant, influence, and so on and so forth. Okay. There's a full few days course if you want to study in depth about DISC. Right. So what Jake and Jade is mentioning is that DISC, once you understand a certain person's personality, if you apply the right image, color, and also attitude, you are able to enforce that personality. And if you learn the skills, you are able to also see a person like me. Okay, whether I'm a D or I or S or C. Those of you who are out there, you're familiar with me, familiar with DISC, you will know that I am a very, very talkative person. Definitely got I one, right? Okay, sure got one, right? So I got I. Whether got other than I, got any other combination, that is based on your experience now. So, however, if an I person, what kind of color does an I person like to wear? Of course, 我们 I 的人呢就很爱饼咯，很喜欢 grab attention，对不对？去到哪里都要人家 attention。我去到一个 party，人家不要踩我，我就很 depressed 了的啦。I must be in the center of attraction, attention。所以我就会做这个 show， 就是讲 because 我每天要讲话，有很多人看着我就很开心。爱的人呢，你 post 这个什么 Facebook 啊，如果 within 5 minutes 没有 respond 啊，没有人 like 啊，就很 depressed 了，很想去 delete 掉那个什么东西了。
所以记得哦，你们在看这个 show 要给多多 comment， 要给多多 like 哦，
要给 like，
要开心。对。
呀，Timothy，你刚才说到嘛，爱的人哦会喜欢怎么样的颜色？其实他就是一个喜欢fun啊，比较就是那个地方要有欢乐，要有欢笑哈然后你就是那个中心人物啊。你看啊，现在你身上穿的其实跟我一样哎，那个蓝色，我们都是属于都是属于比较亮的那个蓝色哦。当然我不是 I 啦，先承认我不是 I。
你的
也是有 I
啦，是要how do you selective I？selective I，selective I。好像有一些人 ，for example for me， 我也是有一些 D 就是 dominant， 就是讲要叫人家做东西比较 dominant 的性格，很多大老板的性格就是自动是会有 dominant 的 characteristic， 如果没有人家就不会 follow 他嘛，对不对？所以多多少少做生意的人呢，就有一点点，还是比较多咯。比较多 D 的人呢，就会比较没有感觉到人家怎么样想，我就说 OK， 我要你们做这个东西，你们就要做给我，不你怎么样去做给我，就是 D 的人了。All right， so 就是很不同咯。Joyce, what personality are you? I don't talk enough for you to know what is your personality. But
yeah. So
Joyce is very flexible.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I spend a day with you, I probably can identify what character you are.
I think you would be able to, but let you talk to me more since you like to talk.
So Joyce, you have been learning from these two Sifu, right? So
Yes.
maybe you can share with us what have you captured so far from the lessons. What maybe one of the biggest take back you can have?
Okay, one of the biggest take back actually is you know, all the while is like I always think that when you talk about colors, especially when we're talking about colors now, it's mixing the right color combination, right? So that you don't get color clash. And if the color looks okay, that means everything is okay. What I discovered, however, is during the course, my biggest finding was when I dress up something and think that that's okay on me, I started learning some tips, and I always take a camera. So my dressing up now has extended time because before I leave the house, I will get my maid to come and help me take photos, you know, my shoes, my bags, everything. And then I realized that we are not bad with our dressing. we have a perception of how people would look at us from the way we dress. It is all about perception. But then the course made me realize that my perception is not necessarily what people see.
Correct.
And I got to know it because when I actually took a photograph and looked at them, then I said, oh my God, this doesn't look nice. This pair of shoes, no go, you know, or, oh, this one, it doesn't bring me up as what I want, you know, it makes me look sick.
Okay.
And you don't realize it without going through the in-depth of understanding colors to yourself and colors to what people think about you. That's my biggest take from the class, learning from my two Sifus here.
Joyce, before this, were you in the corporate line?
Yes, I was. So that's why, you know, when I first joined their class, I have to be very honest also. It's kind of like, I don't think I have dressed that badly. I mean, my last job was Asia Pacific Vice President.
Especially your corporate line, you will feel like that, right?
Yeah, so I'm in the corporate line. I hold a senior position. Okay, I'm responsible for a business unit across Asia Pacific in a multinational organization where all the seniors are male, and I'm the only female sales lady. So you would think nothing is wrong.
Yeah.
Because if something is wrong, you wouldn't be in that position, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that I didn't dress badly, but I dress better now.
I would also say if you're in the corporate line, especially like what I used to do, right? Dressing would not be the biggest priority because there's always a constraint of time. Okay, you rather be more performance oriented, you know, result oriented rather than putting dressing in priority. And then plus, you know, there is always a standard uniform kind of culture for corporate. How far can you go, especially for guys? Shirt, pants, tie, finish that. What else can you do? What else can you do? You know. So if let's say there is 5 different shirts in my cabinet, it would probably be white, black, gray, white.
Yeah, but Timothy, I'd like to challenge you. That's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
And
right.
I realized after going through the class from my two Sifus that even at a corporate level, you can make a big difference.
Of course,
because what happens now is my clients, I also still have corporate clients. And I can still look very corporate, but catching their attention for the right reason as well. I think that's actually what corporate dressing is all about. Corporate dressing is about dressing with the right intention that you want to project to your management, to the people you're dealing with, or to your subordinates. And not just dressing for yourself. Yeah.
Yes,
I also want to bring after this, I'll probably say hi to some of the guests, but after this, I would want to ask a question is like, okay, this is a bit on the male-female side. You know, female, you can have so many variation. You can put like Jade, you know, you have a nice scarf and then you are, wow, a different person altogether. Okay, for a man, putting a scarf or something like that, people will give you funny look. So how does a man can flare out without looking too, okay, so we'll come back to that topic after this. So right now, I just want to say hi to some of our guests that is in here with us. Carol Wong is Jade and myself. We have a class that we attended. She is our classmate. Thank you very much for joining us, Carol. You've always been very, very supportive. James Yuan, right? Is that Yuan James? AV Cool, hello. And we have Siobhan. She is an MC. I know her from quite a while back. I don't know if Jake and Jade, do you know Siobhan? She is an MC, and then we have been quite friends for quite a while. Rachel Fu, how are you? Brian Lai, thank you for joining us. So now there's a question from Siobhan about, I think we were discussing about DISC. She wants to ask the D. Siobhan, I actually want to know what is your question about it. Is it what kind of color or dressing does high D people wear? Is that right? Is there a right answer for something like that? D 的性格的有 prefer 穿什么颜色还是衣服的吗？
这个我不晓得说是
dominant 啦，就是人家很
对 对、
啊
我们说真的，我马上就联想到就是黑白配之余，还有加上红。
嗯，
嗯
红啊
这，三
为什么红呢？
鲜红色，这三个加起来的，因为它在颜色心理学里面呢，它是非常的，我们说很主色，它是一个很主色。虽然黑跟白是一个我们所谓的综合色，但是呢，它是整个的一个就是一个 dominant 的一个象征
嗯
所以这三个颜色一碰在一起呢，我就会马上你一说起第一，我就会马上联想到这三个颜色。好不好？老师，你是不是这样的想法？
一般上我本身是做 DISC 的，然后我有去观察 DISC 的人是怎么穿。一般上，如果是在颜色心理学来说，一般上强烈的色彩，他们是喜欢穿强烈的色彩的，因为当我们打开衣橱我们会挑的那个颜色就是 reflect 我们的个性的，但是我们不知道原来我们会挑那个颜色。一般上他们的性格比较强烈的，很自然的他们会挑比较强烈的色彩。黑色，刚才橘子老师说的黑色是属于其中一个很强烈的色彩。
强烈 means to say what? Strong colors?
Strong color.
Yes.
They
Okay.
naturally they will pick up strong color because of their strong characters. And strong colors are like very high intensity color. Black color is one of the high intensity color. All other colors is like the bright color, but high D, not necessary they will pick up bright color.
Of course.
Not necessary. However, usually I notice that the high D person, they like to pick up strong color like black. And also, if let's say their character, we need to see the combination. If the D is very, very high, their I is very, very low, and their C is also very, very high, that means they are D and C. Usually, they don't like to think so much about dressing. They just pick up.
Specific.
Yes, they are very specific. They only want efficiency. So when they open the wardrobe, chances are they just pick up the black, very dark color, or dark color. Okay, just dress up. Then in the fastest way, go to work. So usually, and when they talk also, they are very brief, short,
一
sweet,
个
concise,
很好的 example， 每一个人都认识的，就是你们现在很多人用住他的产品的人啦，就是 Steve Jobs 啦。Steve Jobs 每一天穿的都是同一个颜色，同一个款 ，you know，and he is a D person。OK，
对，他是 DC 来的，
对
D 和 C，
他不用花时间，他没有花时间在这个 grooming， 他就是一次过，全部都是一样。应该是说他打开他衣柜就是黑跟白这两个颜色。
and 这一点就是他自己讲的嘛，他自己表达出来的，就是 he admitted it himself that he doesn't want to waste time with choosing clothes, where he can put his mind to good use to something else. Joyce, 以前last time when you were in the corporate line, previously before you attended their course, were you also like that? Is there any specific color that you always like to wear?
It ends up to be actually very much the D colors. So you stay safe in the corporate world with those three colors.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
it will be like the dark blue, the reds, the blacks. Yeah, occasionally the white.
对， just like Joyce says, usually it's a dark color. Beware, sometimes the D person, if let's say they're very, very, very high D, a lot of time they might send out the aura that they are very strict and stern. There is a distance between them and their colleagues, right? So when that happens, that means it is going to influence the effectiveness of our leadership. So imagine that if we consciously change our color and we become friendlier, when people perceive us as friendlier, so we become more approachable. It is going to enhance our effectiveness when it comes to leadership because people are more open to us. That's why we say color has a role to play in the leadership branding.
Okay, good. So now back to the topic that just now I wanted to ask you. As a lady, it's easy for you all to have different varieties of colors, clothing. You can wear pink, you can wear white, you can wear yellow. You are still fine. For as a man today, if tomorrow 我如果穿 yellow color 的 quote 出来，我觉得我不敢走出家嘞，接受不到嘞，怎么办好？男人怎么样去选择？好 ，of course I haven't attended your courses, so I cannot understand this. But maybe you can give me a tip, you know, on about this.
Timothy，你很有潜在可以穿黄色了，因为当然你现在的行业啦，我们说除了这个 personality 啊，我们也要看到自己的行业的性质嘛。那如果说你就是有一个潜在要去做 host 啊之类的，可以往这一方面去穿黄色。其实如果说他是一个主持人，我相信是蛮不错的一个选择啦，因为在台上你就是那个目光的交际者呀，所以是没有错误的咯。呀
OK
只是说怎么样的搭配，我欢迎你来上我们的课程。
一定会有这样的机会。
跟你的太太。
Actually, to be honest 3年前我的头发是戴到这里。
哇
绑起来，我有照片，有机会我给你看我的照片，我的头发到这里绑起来的。OK，
Cellcom 的 CEO 啊。
In a way, I'm one of those that I dare to try， 我敢去试不同的 you know style， especially 头发我是不怕了 ，because 我觉得是还有头发我就去试了，没有头发怎么样试嘞？Okay, yeah, okay. So maybe I also want to share another example that just now Jade and Jake has mentioned. Okay, 就是这个 image 啦。So maybe Jade, you can share what is this about?
OK， 刚才我们讲到 D 嘛，对吗？
对。
来，我们先问一下哈，我们的观众哈，可能你可以看一下我们的那个 Facebook， 他们有什么 comment。当你们看到 A， 我们先把那个目标放在 A， 这位女性，你们对她有什么感官？你们可以把你们的 comment 写进去。
Listeners out there, if you're listening right now, okay, do put in the comment box. 你们可以放在那个 comment box 里面。What do you think of what's your impression of photo A compared to photo B? Now we start focus on photo A. Okay, with her dressing, her red and her checkered. Okay, how do you feel? What's your perception of
overall?
Yes,
overall, what's the feeling that it evokes? Your perception of this lady? A.
Okay. 然后of course compared to B， 本身我就有不同的impression 了的啦，我本身就看得出。
等一下你才
even though 我不认识他们，就是一眼 one eye look right， I have a certain feeling 啦，right？ Okay, so listeners out there, if let's say you are listening in, maybe you can give your comment. Hi Maxim, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Siobhan, I hope I managed to answer the question regarding the D. Okay, feel free to ask more questions if you have, if I didn't manage to answer for you. Okay, so yeah, so this is basically we are still covering the topic of perception. Okay, so right now we are looking at these two pictures, and we just want to get your comments. How do you feel about photo A? Okay, so meanwhile, Joyce, can you show the picture you have at the back behind that is so beautiful? But later you will also be showing us some of the work that your daughter have done also, right?
Yeah, I think Jade, I have passed them on to Jade.
Yeah. So, okay. Yes, I have some of it. So maybe you can tell us more about it. So maybe Jade, you can proceed and oh yeah, we have Maxim who just said that Maxim, thank you, Maxim. You're saying that strong character for A and B is very soft. That's right.
What about Tim? Tim, just now you were saying you also have some perception about these two ladies.
Okay. On one glance, I would perceive that photo A, she is a very strong character. I agree with what Maxim say. 就是讲 very sharp point on person. B is a person that I think I can approach easier. I can sweet talk her easier compared to A.
All right, if
From a
let's say
man
this
perspective,
yeah, from man's perspective, it's good
Mm.
to know. If let's say these two ladies, A and B, come and approach you to sell you wellness products, which one that you feel you will buy from?
B.
B, instantly.
Yeah, B. Because
Okay.
B is somebody I think that I know I can sit down and chat with her and feel very relaxed with.
What about
A feels like a
okay?
no nonsense person. It's like come in already, you buy, either don't buy. I think I scared she will pressure me to buy.
Okay, all right. What about if let's say these two ladies come and talk to you about opportunity? Let's say MLM opportunity.
MLM opportunity. I'm not very sure because I would say A is a good leader. I feel A is a person that I can follow if I want to go into a business. Okay. B doesn't give me the leadership kind of feel. Okay, I've got also Carol saying that B is more corporate, more professional look, and A is more friendly. Okay, you sure? Okay, Carol has a very opposite expression of the perception of both.
Yeah.
So you see, different people have different perception, right?
So it's not wrong, right?
Perception is never wrong because it's very individual. Therefore, we really need to know that person's characteristic. And this lady, actually, who she wants to attract, she is an MLM leader.
Okay.
She wants to attract the young people. Yeah, these young people, they are teenagers, Nowadays, a lot of teenagers, they start to do MLM. They are like 15 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old. And she wanted to have heart-to-heart talk with them so that these young people will be open their heart and talk to them what's their problem. And one of her intention is she also want to coach these young people to unleash their potential. Right. So, and before that, when she come on for this SI Rapi course, we consistently see that she's consistently wearing a strong color. And also everybody has different aura. Her aura also give people a very strong kind of feeling. Right. So after that, ever since she changed her color, when meeting the right group of people, that specific group of people, she told us she find that the young people are more willing to talk to her now. And it's easier for her to get collaboration. Yeah. Okay. So and to her, she realized that this helps in her leadership role. Therefore, you see, it does give a different perception, the colors that we wear.
Correct. Carol has just mentioned again, because she feels that A is less corporate, therefore more easy to approach. Carol, by the way, is still working in corporate industry, so she's still working for a big company, and yeah, so her perspective is still very corporate.
我可以补充，为什么 Carol 会这样子说？会不会是因为穿了那个黑色 stocking？
Carol, is it because of the black stockings? That's why you feel that it's less corporate.
她的整个的装扮呢，在 corporate 里面呢，其实它是会比较花俏了一点呀。所以以她 as 一个 corporate 的角度来切入的话，我觉得她的想法是正确吧，我可以这样子说。他的习惯性吧，就老师是不是这样子说哦？
这个我们要看要看 Carol 是不是因为那个黑色的那个丝袜，所以他感觉到 less。Anyway， 这个讯息是 Carol 给我们的讯息是，他觉得比较没有那么 corporate 的，比较容易 approach。所以我们说 ，What is professional? Professional does not mean that we have to dress like very formal all the time. It depends on who we meet, where we meet, and what profession is that audience. It is always about that audience, and it is always about that connection. Connection to do with that person's position, that person's perception, and also largely is to do with our perception. It's also largely to do with our DISC of that person, our audience. Therefore, we need to roughly identify what's the DISC before we dress. That's called dressing with intention.
Mm.
Mm.
Dressing with intention, that's the word to use. In
Yeah.
fact, both A and B, I can see both portray a very different DISC presentation actually.
Mm.
So this, I think this is a very good topic that we're discussing about, because remembering what 55% of communication is communication visual. That means to say when you meet a person, right, 55% of it is what our eyes see. That is already a communication visual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically intonation, the way we language and all that. And of course, only 7%, this is a scientist which just says that 7% is what you talk, okay, that people get an expression. So the first I would say 80, almost 90%, 93% of people's perception of you is non-verbal, 就是不用讲话来讲的。So that's why 如果我要学多一点放电啊，就会比较容易 close deal， 我觉得。OK，
看要对谁放电哦，Timothy 跟乱放电。
开玩笑啦。哎呦，let me tell you lah, when you are out in the industry, you're doing sales, more or less, you will still have some form of, communication skills. We call them communication skills. Ladies will have their way, men will have a different way. 我们看到拟人格的顾客，我们就用不同的方式来serve the customer。
对
呀，
对不对？
这个就是
我觉得你
言观色变啊。
我觉得
观言察色。
Timothy 应该是西赖杀手哦，我觉得他。
Hopefully not. Okay. So another thing I think I want to bring up today is about what let me see. Yeah, the SI-RAPI. Maybe you can tell us more about what is SI-RAPI, because 你一直讲你的 SI-RAPI course 到底是什么东西来的 I just share something for you to explain, Jade.
Okay. Right. Maybe before this, you want to go into the earlier part first. Let Joyce explain. 之前那一个 slide Okay, Joyce. Maybe Joyce want to explain about that identity first.
这个吗？上去哈。Okay.
Joyce, maybe you want to explain about this part here, about identity, about what business you do, and therefore what you actually want to achieve the impact, the intention.
Okay. Yeah. So in summary, I am actually the brand owner for my daughter, artist Janet Lee. So her name is Janet Lee, and she's an artist. But she's a very special kind of artist because she is intellectually delayed or disabled. Okay, she's not age appropriate, and so running the business on her own is not something she's capable of doing. But she does very beautiful paintings. Wow. And on top of it, she also have epilepsy. Epilepsy is 癫痫症. Okay, which the old Chinese people in Cantonese would say Fat Yong Tiu. So this is the kind of epilepsy where drugs cannot control, and they don't even know when it will happen. So in running the business for her, aside from selling her paintings, which are like what you see at the back here, plus many others, is I wanted to have a sustainable business for her. And so we converted her passion, her love for painting, to print. And the two pictures that are shown up there are actually her painting, which has been used to become fashion masks. We have done this in collaboration with a company called Duapply. So they are following the WHO recommendation, and their masks are washable for up to 100 times. And it comes with a pocket insert for the filter. So that is our painting to print. Now, when I want to run her business, then this is actually the reason why I followed the SI-RAPI, because I'm a mom trying to bring my daughter's work to the market, meaning that I'm connecting myself not to my age group, but to people below my age group, more towards my daughter's age group. And this is the time where if I know how to bridge this, that would be making sales more effective, making a collaboration talk more effective, without people perceiving that I'm like an old lady trying to act young. You know, we always have that thing, you know, sometimes when you reach a certain age and then you try to wear mini skirts or whatever, and then people would say, wow, what does this lady kind of think? So that was a bit of my challenge, okay? I want, without having to speak, as we say, majority of our first contact is visual. So without having to speak, I wanted to get people's attention on what I do, but for the right reason. Okay, not for negative comments or like, oh my God, you know, I don't want to talk to this lady. She got very poor sense of taste and so on. So if we actually move down to the next slide. So, okay, here is for anyone who wants to know more about my daughter. She was recently interviewed by China Press and is actually on her Facebook page. I think Timothy can give you access to the Facebook page if you're interested to know about her in greater detail. But that was me. You see, the first picture before, I don't think I looked bad, right? I'm presentable, I'm okay. And I was trying to bring out my daughter's, that skirt is using my daughter's painting. Okay, so it's one of the painting, and in fact I have actually got like a brochure here. You can actually see from one painting I have done scarves, skirts, blouses, and so on. So this was the skirt that I'm wearing from that painting. And from SI Rapi, I learned the technique of being able to, if you look at the first one, probably it looks very prim and proper, serious. Whereas the second one gives me like, you know, more relaxed. It's fashionable, and yet I'm not trying to look young, right? So, but it does give me a fresh look. So this is the perception. When I dressed the first way, I didn't think anything was wrong. Okay? But obviously, when I speak to the younger generation for collaboration and all that, they would maybe give the same perception as we saw from the earlier photo, where this is a very serious person, you know, need to talk business. If I don't have something to offer, better don't play, you know. Whereas for the second one, it will be kind of like, yeah, I think I can explore. You know, I don't think, you know, she's going to give me a black face if I tell her, you know, it's not the right timing or something like that.
Yeah.
It gives you that feeling, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's about my before and in the process of changeover. So Jade, I don't know whether you want to explain about the next picture which was shown just now.
Yeah, okay.
You want to add on
show the
something?
next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, actually SI Rapi, it stands for strategic image, roles, aspiration, purpose, and impact. I always believe we need to align our external projection with our roles, because we play different roles in our life. Our aspiration, where we want to go eventually, our purpose and the impact that we want to create. As for Joyce, she's a brand owner of artist Janet Lee. And her SI Rapi intention is she wants to be consistently carry the identity of Janet Lee while be intact with her self-authenticity. As you see this picture, this exactly is really carry the identity of Janet Lee at the same time being in herself. And she's, of course, we diagnose the color. Joyce is the autumn color. She's in the autumn color. And she has a little bit drama in her as well. And the blue and the yellow color, this is a complementary color that brings out the drama in her. And the mask and the shoes are Janet's Lee identity, because that is Janet's products. So everything, it matches very well. And we say less is more. It is very tastefully dressed. At the same time, also project the identity of Janet Lee. At the same time, bring up the authenticity of Joyce Moy. So this is what we call SI Rapi.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's also role, aspiration, purpose, impact. It's basically like what position or what image I want to portray. I come to you and you help me to design something to make me portray that image more. Well, I get what you mean.
Yes.
我要补充，我要补充，他不是说对，是他的方向，但是我们是引导他，而不是我们去帮他做。我们是教他怎么钓鱼，我们不是煮鱼给他吃，这个是我们的目标啊。OK， 这是我要补充。
对。
And on my side here, maybe I just want to add is like only the dress doesn't belong to Janet. The mask is actually using one of Janet's painting, another painting, and even the pair of shoes that I'm wearing is actually using Janet's painting. So we all feel like painting, and Janet's paintings are very colorful. So the obvious thing sometimes we will have is like, how can you wear something so colorful onto you and not being laughed at?
Yeah.
Okay, I used to make a lot of mistakes, sometimes the wrong color combination, sometimes too much, sometimes too little. And this one, after learning, the skills from Jig and Jade, you would see that, I have a very colorful mask from one painting, and I've got a very colorful pair of shoes from another painting, but I was able to match it properly, and it still comes very pleasing to the eye.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that's really important to be able to learn how to match colors also. But the thing is, I also want to bring up is that to be able to have role aspiration it's not just about dressing alone. Am I right? It's got to do with 你们的性格, 你的 character, how you behave and your body language. It involves a lot of things. That's what I think this is all SRP also covers stuff like this. So these are some of the work that you guys have done. 对吗?
Yes, 这是橘子老师你说吧。Color, psychology, personality.
Okay.
这个我们其实很兴奋啦，因为来临的星期六就是这个所谓的色彩这个 color psychology， 因为很多的人就会想说，哎呀，我们上形象啊，就是来这个颜色咯，哎呀，不是一样咯，红就是红嘛，蓝就是蓝嘛，黄就是黄嘛，干嘛要做这样多 test？ 他们不知道原来里面只是我们单单一个红色，好不好？一个红色，你就能够怎么样去除了 apply 在自己身上你怎么样去读别人？所以这样子的一个工作坊我跟老师就是有很大的一个共识，想说在所谓的销售方面，销售人员方面。能够帮助到他这一方面的一个提升。当然我们不是说180%你的颜色一搭配对哇你就 100% 能够 close sales， 但是我跟你说它就是那个关键，你如果能够抓到这一个窍门在里面的话，我跟你说那个我们说目标这个刚才所说的dream， 我们的目标我们的梦想是会离我们家更加的靠近。这是我心里的话。
我们想能够帮助销售事半功倍。当然我们说所谓的事半功倍是我们必须本身也要已经具备了我们的 attitude， 我们的 communication skills。就是如果你有了这些，你又加上你能够读到对方到底是一个怎么样的人，你就能够用你那个穿对衣服然后去影响那个对方的那个psychology。那真的是能够帮助这个销售的一套。
Okay, I agree. I just want to add, because a lot of you listening out there, you probably be wondering, right? I'm doing a show about property investment, okay, real estate investment, and yet I'm doing topics about color, psychology, personality, and I've got Jade and Jig and also Joyce here talking about image and all this kind of what is it relation of it? I think the objective of it, which I just now earlier forgot to mention, is that whether you're a property investor or whether you're in the sales industry, how you dress, how you look like, it's really, really very important. It impacts the people that you meet, the expression that you exert to people. and also how people feel about you. And your ability to be able to close deals or to be able to even get an appointment, it really depends on what kind of impression you give people. So therefore, I think these are all like color psychology, your DISC, are all small little components that make up of who you are. Whether you want to look professional, whether you want to look casual, it really depends. I give you an example. I mean, 我现在给的 example 就是从我这一行做的啦，就是讲real estate agent 有很多种，有一些 real estate agent 只是卖房子的 ，OK， 他卖那些二手房子，有一些 agent 是在发展商的 office 里面卖他们的新的 project，OK， 有一些是在 KLCC 卖那些一间1000方尺的房子卖2-3个 million 的也有。OK， 所以有很多不同的，也有一些就是卖地的也有 ，OK， 要驾车驾 4-wheel drive 去到外地来去给人家看地，带人家看地，所以有很不同的 agent 不同的 function 跟 role。当然，现在如果跟你们讲每一个人要穿这样，好像我这样来见顾客，一定是很重要的。但是你跟我讲，如果我带人家去 Bodixon 去看地，驾 pickup truck 没有流穿这样的嘛，流汗流到整身都是。又有不同的 image， 对不对 ？OK，but it's really important。一个人不可以有一个 style 罢了，你一定要会去 mix and match。But the thing is, you must know the basic of it. I think courses like this 就像的 workshop 呢，就是教你这一个foundation， 就是这个 basic， 就是讲你学了这个东西，你自己去外面你就可以。自己去you match and come up with your own style，OK？ 就是我就还没有 attend 到 course， 我每天就是穿一个 coat 罢了的，我 BNI 就是每个拜三就是一个 coat 罢了。不过这个是已经是 confirm 了 ，OK 可以看了的嘛，我就是根据这个罢了。
confirm 靚仔。
OK，so yeah，so 这个是我的 opinion 啦 ，right？As a salesperson， 你就是要去。学这些东西。Shall I go to the next page?
Okay.
Okay, so this is the workshop details. So for those of you who are listening in, and if you find that whatever we explained today is something that it might interest you or might be able to help you in whatever you're doing, which I highly recommend. They are having a workshop on the 22nd of August, which is 这个星期六对吗？
对。
Okay, this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. where they'll be covering about analyzing your best seasonal color, winter, summer, autumn, spring, or flow. Okay, and how to make yourself look youthful, happy, friendly, all the best one, make you look the best. All right, and or even explain to you. They don't only tell you about how you look the best. They even explain to you how you can also look not the best, so you know the difference. Okay, there's no point for you only tell you everything the best, but you don't know the differences. Okay, how to mix and match colors, as I mentioned just now. Different occasion, there is different colors and matching. Okay, to create the mood you desire. 我看有一些人穿这样的 coat， 一间人家结婚也是穿这样的 coat， 去 meeting 也是穿这样的 coat，because 有一个 coat 罢了嘛。Okay, so yeah, how to tastefully mix and match your colors to look slimmer 那个我会，那个黑色就可以了。老师会骂我讲没有这样的事情哦。Okay, and attractive. Okay, how not to waste thousands of dollars on buying outfits, which is correct because following on 也是我等一下会问你们几个问题关于这个东西的。So basically the price you can see, if let's say those of you are interested, you can actually get this barcode, okay, scan, and you can actually get a special rate. It's $494 per pax, and you stand a chance to win a 300 ringgit fashion voucher by the Mode House. Okay, so I will actually post this in my Facebook later after the show so that you can continue to have this information with us. All right? Okay.
不止这样子。
不止这样子 okay? Especially if for today's guest, okay, for those of you who are interested and if you sign up for their workshop today in my show, you will get this, one of this, is it?
One of this.
Okay,
它其实有很多的，等一下你说下来看有很多。
Okay, so basically for today, if let's say you sign up the course through this program, you can actually get one of these masks, this very, very special limited edition mask from Janet. These are artwork from Janet that has been made into a facial mask. You cannot buy this in the supermarket. You cannot buy this anywhere, not in pharmacy. It's only from Janet, right? Okay, so it's to be able to wear one of these out there, people is going to ask you, wow, where do you get this from? This is so unique. Okay, so don't forget, mask is a new norm. I've already foreseen that mask will be a fashion accessory earlier. Okay,
so it's already a fashion statement.
Okay, so the next thing, Joyce, you need to do is to do the mask. Then you have matching bikini also. Okay.
We actually have already a Hong Kong designer who has a mask matching with the cardigan or mask matching with the tops by the Hong Kong fashion designer. So from the two paintings, you can see that there are numerous designs available. I have to thank Timothy, Jade, and Jake as well, especially to Beyond Image, Jade and Jake, because for every mask that Janet gets to sell, or for any item that Janet sells, be it a painting or a print a painting to print, 10% of everything she sells goes to Rumah Sayangan, a children's home. So anyone who wears an item from Janet, like the mask that will be given to two special guests at this event, it carries a story. It carries a story about a girl who has got her own challenges, but who has been able to stand on her own feet. On top of it is to also give to the less fortunate a portion of what she earns. So it's a good icebreaker. It's a nice fashion statement as well.
It's definitely.
Thank you, Jade and Jake.
It's definitely a good icebreaker. Let me tell you that I can attest to that. The last time I went for a meeting with my wife, there was a client who is wearing a pink color mask. Immediately, my wife asked where to buy a pink color mask, because otherwise it's always the same blue color mask, right? So then we found out that in one of the pharmacy there, you can buy a packet got many different color: purple, blue, pink, yellow. Okay, so suddenly, she's buying that, because it's actually not so mundane. And in my Vienna chapter, we have also another entrepreneur who is also, they have so different kinds of masks. And now I've also heard that people are putting diamonds on the mask. I seriously think this is going way, because why? This is a new norm. People are accepting masks as a daily accessory that you must have. All right. So like what I'm really very, very inspired by what Joyce is doing with her daughter, where she is actually supporting and helping the daughter express her talent through art like that, and fully supporting. Okay, and this is something that is very, very commendable, because as a parent, we also want to look at and hope that our children can express their talents, and we are able to support them by doing this. It's really good. Congratulations, Joyce, for your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. I must add, Timothy.
Yeah.
Right. This one, because our workshop is on Saturday. We are keeping it at a very, very small group. Very small group. We only want 8, right? 8 people only. So today we only have 2 seats, and this mask, as you see, they are of different seasons.
Yes.
And for the 2 guests who sign up today, after you have done your color diagnosis, we will help you to handpick one of the masks that is of your best color.
Wow.
Which is out from here, from this choices.
Yes, and send to you to your home.
So if you can imagine, this mask is taken out from one part of the whole artwork. Some artwork like what you see behind Joyce, behind Joyce camera there. That is one piece of the art that is done by Janet as well. So she's really, really very, very artistic and very creative.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys, if let's say you are interested, please drop a message on my Dropbox. You can do it now. You can do it later after the show, or you can contact me directly. You guys have my contact details. and if not, I will drop it in my message box as well. So then I will then give you the information of this workshop as well. Okay. So yep. So this is Jade's parting words. Now, before you, okay, hang on. Before you have your parting words, I have a couple of questions from some of our listeners who have sent me the details before earlier. Okay, so I want to address this question to both Jade and Jay. Okay, now is there a clear line between being impressionable, being impressionable? That means you have a good impression versus being fashionable. Sometimes people try to be fashionable, but it may not match them. Is there how do you separate them out?
Separate.
So
we say we do not want to be the fashion slave. Style and fashion, they are different. Style is eternal. Fashion is a fad. It will go. For example, this is in fashion. It comes in for 3 months, maximum 6 months, usually 3 months now, right? Then it goes. If let's say we become the slave of fashion, it means that, oh, there's one time a leopard print comes in. Oh, it is so in fashion. Then even me, I'm a classic person. I'm not a leopard person as well. I'm not a leopard person at all. I go and buy because it is in fashion. Then I put on me, Timothy, look at me. Something is wrong with this Jade. Not her character at all. So it's like not aligned, not aligned with my character, Even when I put on, I don't feel it's good because it's not me. So in that case, we become the slave of fashion.
I want to quote an example for men. Okay, I see nowadays men wear suit, wear pants, trousers, wear the pants slightly shorter, no socks, leather shoe. I cannot accept. I mean, I asked my wife, can I try that? My wife said, hey, please, don't. I cannot accept.
Yeah, you see, if you are going to meet, I also have a corporate client, 100%, the senior management 100% Korean, right? Because it's a Korean company. All the senior management, they're sockless, because it's their culture. Okay, that means if you meet them, they can accept that you don't wear socks. But if you meet people like Timothy, I tell you, Timothy will in his mind will start to judge. I think these persons are not credible. He can't pay attention to what you say. Therefore, we need to know that person and the culture.
But seriously, some people are cut for it. Some people are just not cut for something like that. I cannot try to be a person that I don't think I can be that person, like that kind of fashion and stuff like that.
Actually, we just need to be ourselves. At the same time, we need to know how to respect another person's. Yeah. Therefore, I would say we want to leave an impression, and to leave a good impression, not necessary that we follow fashion, but we need to have our own style. Style and fashion, they are different.
Brian said, "Oppa style." Yeah. That one, no socks. That one is called Oppa style, right?
Yeah, Oppa style. Korean style.
Okay, now, one more question. I think the time is also very short. I've got one more question. I got a few, but I think I can only take one more question, which is, how do you, when you are in a crowd, right, you want to stand out, but at the same time you want to blend in, 怎么办呢？这个会 challenging 吗？
如果你是说我嘛，对吗
？I mean generally 啦 ，generally 我们去到一个 party 啦 ，OK，你要穿什么进去到那边，你又可以 blend in， so that 你 should you I don't know how do I put it， 你要 blend in， 但是你也是要 stand out， 就是讲你不要穿得太夸张。
对，这个呢，我们要下功夫。第一，要先知道我们要去哪里呀。因为要同声同气嘛。我们讲的 image 就是刚才都有说好像 Timothy 你有说嘛。难道我要穿这样子，然后我带人去荒山野岭看那个 那块地嘛，对吗？所以一样的，所以我要去的那个场合，我会先知道那个场合是对谁，然后在哪里，什么时间啊，这个就叫做我们讲说装扮得体的第一个要考虑的咯。然后呢，你要用什么颜色，还是讲回有机会来上我们的课程，还是买课程？真的啦，真的，因为这个是我。我告诉你，我真的我从小我就很爱美，但是爱美是没有错，问题是就是不知道怎么去把对的放在自己的身上，然后变成是自己的一个风格，然后也同时的跟人家有一个很好的互动，所以我才会去研究这块东西。对，我有没有答到你的问题呀？
有，就是有。其实我觉得我们的听着我们的 listener 都是很开心的。let me just share one of the comment. Maxim 就讲他就学到 this is a very good show. I learned about image and color versus perception, dress for certain purpose. That's right, Maxim. I'm glad that you have learned something from us today. And if you have the time, you can join their workshop and they can get a lot more information, more detail. 今天我们讲的只是很 surface 罢了的。Okay, there's a lot more to learn. In fact, 如果你識少少 then you go and try to apply, you may apply wrong after 找火人魔that's not very good. Okay, so you have to learn the proper one. Okay. Brian,
you're very good, are you?
Brian, write something I don't know how to read. You all can read. What is it?
入乡随俗要怎么办呢？又要有自我性格呀 ，Brian， 第一个最好的方案就是来找我们。像刚才 Timothy 说的嘛，你只是那么拿了那么一丁点，然后就去把它运用，其实对你不公平，对我们也不公平，对吗？因为我们学的这一套东西，即使是说好像J老师我的话，我们已经在这一个这一块已经研究了11年，都还没研究完。那你今天只是 spend 1个小时跟我们在一起，那你觉得呢？对吗？欢迎你来参加我们的课程，真的。
Brian Lai 是我们的好朋友，他那天来我们的40分钟的这个coaching就已经有收获了。对，你记得吗？
所以要学东西一定要跟师傅要有师傅，不要自己去学。
对
，Okay, good. Thank you very much. 我觉得我们今天I think we covered quite a lot. We have shared quite a lot of experience. I hope listeners out there you have benefited from our sharing today, from Jade, from Jig, and also Joyce. And three of you, I thank you so much. 真的很 appreciate 你们的时间。
谢谢
share all these things with us. And I'm going to put this show on YouTube so that 如果是in future 如果是有人要听我们的 talk， 他们还可以去那个 YouTube channel 来去看的 so that you can learn more about it. So I'd like to thank all the listeners also to make time for listening in. And if there is an opportunity, I'm going to invite both of them to come and share with us again, maybe a part 2 or some if they have the time. All right. So those of you, 如果你还是有 question 的话， you can just still continue to put your questions into that my Facebook, the link there, and we will still continue to answer you. And I will send the information about their workshop in the link there. Okay. Thank you very much. And this is Timothy, Jade, Jig, and also Joy signing off. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks a lot for your watching.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye bye.